So Shanghai is well underway right now, but it's not without its big stories. Most notably, Jannik Sinner, the reigning defending champion, crashes out to Talon Griekspoor due to injury. We've had Novak Djokovic rolling back the years once again, fighting through thick and thin to win in 3 sets against Jannik Hanfmann. And we have Sasha, the courts are all the same speed, Zverev, moaning again. That's right, and before we go anywhere, make sure you've hit a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck into some of the Shanghai Masters action, and what better place to start than the 38-year-old Novak Djokovic, 40-time ATP Masters 1000 champion, and he becomes the 4th oldest to make the last 16 in one of these events after beating a very good Jannik Hanfmann, and he had to come back from a set down. It was 6-4 to Hanfmann in the first set. We've had Hanfmann on the podcast before, nice guy, and he was playing unbelievable tennis. He was serving so well, playing with a lot of aggression, and Djokovic unfortunately got broken and he couldn't find his way back into that first set. The second set was so close as well. It was really nip and tuck for Djokovic, but when he needs to find something and harness some other mental strength, Novak Djokovic knows how to do it. And this match wasn't without its problems for Djokovic either, because in that second set, he was spotted vomiting not just once but twice due to the brutal humidity and heat conditions in Shanghai. It's quite outstanding that Djokovic still pushes his body to the very limits, and still one of the most fierce competitors in all of sports. I don't even think tennis. To be 38 years old and still pushing your body to this limit and still showing how much it means to be out there playing in Shanghai. I said he was only playing it for one good reason. It's because he does value this tournament, and you see how much the fans love him out there as well. They're chanting his name in the streets. That's how much he's loved. I mean, it probably happens in quite a few other countries as well, most notably Serbia. I'm sure they do that as well for him. But to go to another country and have that many fans, it must be a very, very pleasant thing. And he just really showed up for the fans, because in a tournament where we've already lost Carlos Alcaraz before the tournament began, Jannik Sinner, who is on Djokovic's side of the draw and the main threat to Novak Djokovic in this tournament, obviously, they're the finalists from last year. Now, Djokovic, surely, does he become the favorite for this tournament? This is what a turn of events this is for Novak Djokovic. He improves to 33-10 in 2025, and now he'll face Juan Munar on Tuesday. Very intriguing matchup. Munar not to be taken lightly either. He's having a fantastic year. He seems to be a real thorn in the side on all surfaces as well. He beat Nishioka in 3 sets. Nishioka obviously playing over his side of the world, has a few more fans over there and normally raises his level, but wasn't enough. Munar took him out 6-1 in the 3rd set as well. Quite impressive. Djokovic, on paper, you'd look at this match against Hanfmann and you'd say, oh, it should be a nice easy win. Like the bookie said, 1.08 gave Hanfmann 8s as a chance of winning this. But the way Hanfmann played, he played some serious tennis, and Djokovic really just had to dig in, was finding some incredible shots, like the backhands down the line. He didn't really have an answer. I think he literally outlasted Jannik Hanfmann, but Djokovic always complimentary of his opponent as well at the net. He said, you just played a great match today. Yeah, I thought the crowd were really got their money's worth. And there were a few matches like that in which they got their money's worth as well. I even think the last match of the day, they got their money's worth. with Jannik Sinner, Talon Griekspoor. I mean, Talon Griekspoor, it shouldn't be underestimated. Everyone's going to look at this and think, oh, Jannik Sinner, oh, he was struggling with the muscle cramps and all of this. But that was only in that third set. And it was only at that point when he really retired, because in the second set, he looked fine and he lost the second set. It's just Talon Griekspoor pulled out some unbelievable tennis at real key moments of the set. And he broke Sinner to love pretty much to win the set. I mean, he had to serve it out afterwards in the second set, but to break Sinner to love at the business end of a set is impressive. And then they went into that third set. He just had Sinner running around. He had him run ragged. He was running all over the place. The ball was pretty much behind him when he was trying to flick it back into play all the time. And Griekspoor can do this to players. Some of the lobs he was producing as well, he seemed to have all of the tactics right against Jannik Sinner. Sinner was trying to mix it up a little bit. He was playing the drop shot here and there. I don't think that this will be any more than just a problem for this tournament, though, for Jannik Sinner. I know that there's a lot of people who are sort of looking at this, oh, maybe he's going to be out for the rest of the year, or maybe just a few more tournaments. I don't think it's going to be as serious as that. If it's just cramping, then surely it will just affect him maybe just this match. He'll surely recover by the next tournament. Like it says here, huge credit to Griekspoor for winning the second set after saving 6 out of 6 break points in the second set. Yeah, just played fantastically well. I think it's been one of those tournaments where sort of players who haven't been playing great are suddenly discovered form. Like Gil Gross says here, Griekspoor was on a 7-match losing streak coming into Shanghai. We have Shang as well, another player, young player, who hadn't been playing too well coming in, but is a good prospect. He'd lost 6 out of his last 7 coming in. He's now looking good as well. Nishioka had lost his last 12 of his last 13 ATP first round matches. That's crazy. And then looking pretty good. Obviously lost to Munar, but then still had a better showing. They all beat top 16 seeds and made at least the third round this week. Things can change fast for terrific talents. Yeah, they all are definitely very, very good players. Who's the biggest shock? I mean, surely it has to be, for me, I think Talon Griekspoor, the way he's turned it around, to be honest. To play that well against possibly the best hardcourt player on tour. Some may argue that he's not. Some may say it's still Djokovic. I mean, Jannik Sinner has those hardcore. We did have the hardcourt slams under his belt. Alcaraz has wrestled one off of him in the US Open, and he'll be looking at this right now, Carlos Alcaraz, as maybe this is it now for the year-end number 1 race. Jannik Sinner, he had the opportunity to get 1,000 points, barely any points, and now he sees himself, what is that, 2,540 points behind. It's going to be nearly impossible, I'd say. I mean, Alcaraz literally has to just not play or go out in the first, second rounds or something in these tournaments, which you've just seen what he's done over in Tokyo. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. And this is just the way it is at the moment. Carlos Alcaraz, I think, has sort of weathered the storm. He has now sort of corrected the way that he is playing the tour, I think, and his body is getting a bit more used to it, peaking when it matters. Obviously, there are still some exhibitions to come, and the exhibitions that are going to be coming up, are they going to cause a problem for any of these players? I mean, Alcaraz is probably going to be involved in more than most. I have to see. I don't think that it's going to trouble him, though. There's part of me thinking that he's worked it all out this year and he's just having an unbelievable year. We showed the stats on one of the last podcasts. He's just won so many matches this year and barely lost any. So when you're in that type of form, maybe it'll do him good to just keep playing. He's very young. And I don't think that unless he has some sort of freak accident or injury, I don't think fatigue's going to be an issue for him this year. Somebody who it might be an issue, or maybe it's just something else altogether, is Andrei Rublev. I feel that we have to speak about him. And I've actually been very impressed by Andrei Rublev. And you're going to be thinking, what, Ben? He just lost very early in Shanghai. Well, it's not that I'm impressed by Andrei Rublev on a tennis court. He lost to Nishioka, but I'm impressed by the fact that he's being honest. And I'm impressed by the way that he's now analyzing his game. And this is what we've needed to see from Andrei Rublev for a long time now. And finally, he's been saying it. He said, it's not that they've figured out my game. It's just that my level of tennis has reached a ceiling. That's it. Either I continue to be stuck in the top 20 with all the young players pushing me down the rankings further and further, or you try to drastically change everything. Big words. Love this. I think this is exactly what we needed to hear from Andrei Rublev. Somebody who's recognizing there's a problem. Maybe there's a problem with the Russians at the moment. Maybe Daniil Medvedev needs to be saying something similar. Obviously, had a decent week last week. Obviously, lost to Lerner Tien, though. They could meet again. Wait and see. Lerner Tien. We'll speak about him in a little bit as well. Yeah, but like Claire says here, acknowledging that your game style had got you as far as it could and you're changing everything is a brave move and a huge deal. And I'm fascinated to see how it goes. It's a bumpy road and will take time, but good for him, honestly. I totally agree with this. And I think Andrei Rublev, he does have a lot of fans that are off court and like his off court persona, because he does come across as a very quiet, sweet guy. Obviously, it's different on the tennis court. He gets very frustrated, ends up hurting himself more than anything. And it's tough to watch sometimes, watching him self-destruct. So maybe this will please the fans out there, seeing a little bit of honesty, seeing inside what's going on in that head of Andrei Rublev and how he's willing to change his game and his style just to try and move his way back up the rankings again. I think it's the perfect thing he could be doing. So well done to Andrei Rublev for being honest. And I hope that he now starts to grow as a tennis player again. We saw a lot of growth over the first few years, but it did stop and everybody else has caught up. Somebody else who I think might need to grow as well is potentially Sasha Zverev. You tell me. This is one of those subjects where there's going to be one side and there's going to be the other. But he said some words after one of his matches, and it has ruffled the feathers in the tennis world a little bit. And this is what he said. It says here, Zverev says tournament directors are making court speeds the same to favor Sinner and Alcaraz. I hate it when it's the same. I know the tournament directors are going towards that direction because they want Jannik and Carlos to do well in every tournament. Oh, what do we think of this as a comment? And there's been other people sort of echoing this. There's a few people out there. There's someone said that Federer has sort of alluded to this as well. But Zverev getting a bit annoyed. Obviously, he would love super fast courts all the time just to be able to bomb down a lot of serves. And there's been some backlash to what he said as well. I'm interested to hear what you all think. Tell me in the comments. Do you think he's justified, or do you think he's just moaning and he needs to adapt? Because Scott Barkley has always comes out with an interesting tweet, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It says, Zverev back when he said that there was more variety. 0 major titles. Zverev, now the court speeds are supposedly the same, 0 major titles. So there you go. Maybe the court speed hasn't really changed what the result of his tournaments have been. And we've got more people here. We got the Daily Alcaraz. So I'm guessing this is going to be more in favor of them. Saying I'm still laughing. It says Canada. This is the court speed, 44.6 CPI. Cincinnati, 43.7 CPI. Miami, 39.9 CPI. And Indian Wells, 31 CPI. And it says the quote, obviously, underneath is talking about how they're making all of the courts the same. And then they've just nicely put the results that Zverev has had at these tournaments. So, which one's this? This one's the Canadian Open, where he lost to Karen Khachanov there. And then we go to another one here. Which one's this one? This one is Cincinnati. He lost in straight sets to Carlos Alcaraz there. Next one, Miami Open. He lost to Arthur Fees there. Which other ones have we got here, or is it just those three? Yeah, I think that's the only ones that they've put up there. But anyway, maybe there's one other one. Let me just have a look. There's probably going to be an Indian Wells one as well, surely. Yeah, there it is. Oh, no, that's the Arthur Fees one. Oh, no, here it is. Talon Griekspoor at Indian Wells. There you go. So I think all of the players that he's been losing to, they're alluding to here, they haven't been Sinner or Alcaraz. And he has been losing to slightly lesser opposition as well. But maybe Zverev needs to just sort of adapt. We've got Daniel Valverde. He's come in as well. He said Shanghai is this year 32.8, which is down from 42.4 in 2024. Probably a mistake. I'm sure there will be an adjustment for next year. And we've got Paris 2024 added in there as 45.5. So that would be the Paris Masters. I'm sure that'll be a similar speed. Well, you've got last year's one there. If that drops dramatically, then maybe Zverev's got a point. But it says, he says here, over 50% of the Masters 1000 courts are medium to fast. Facts. Next topic. So there you go. There are still plenty of fast courts for Zverev to do well at, and it just looks like he just hasn't done well at those tournaments. So that's just on him, really. I personally, I just think that if they change courts, they change tennis balls, it's up to the players to have to step up, really, in these scenarios. We got Jannik Sinner, who was posed the question in one of his post-match interviews, and they said what Zverev has actually said, that they're trying to make the courts the same speed to help him and Alcaraz. He said, wow, I don't know what to say about that one, to be honest. He was genuinely baffled. Yes, genuinely baffled, I can see. Look at this. What a face. What a face. And Tennis Sangren agrees with Zverev. He said, it's all one surface. It has been for a while now. And I'm sure it's only tennis players who can be the ones you can really trust, because they're the ones on the court. I don't really know, do I? I'm not on the tennis court. I can only trust what tennis players are saying. And I'm only hearing Zverev complaining about it. Tennis Sangren spoken up about it. I haven't heard anyone else really talking about it. But maybe they'll start coming out the woodwork the more people complain about it. Just in case anyone's wondering about the CPIs, here you go. I'll show it on the screen. Slow is 0 to 29. That's clay courts, e.g. Roland Garros. Medium to slow is 30 to 34. Some hard courts. Medium 35 to 39. Standard acrylic hard courts, and that's medium speed. Medium to fast 40 to 44. Indoor hard courts or grass hybrids. And then fast is 45 plus grass courts, e.g. Wimbledon. Yes, indeed. So there you go. Tell me your thoughts about the Zverev moaning in the comments. Do you think it's justified, or do you think that he just needs to buck up his ideas, be a bit more honest with himself like Andre Rublev, and try and find a different way to win tennis matches and stop relying on the serve, maybe? There's a lot of players who are struggling out there, though, on the tennis courts this week. It has been a hot week in China, the humidity getting to players, Djokovic throwing up. You've had other players cramping, the different styles of, I wouldn't even call it injury, but just body malfunctions from different players all the way across the tournament. And it's throwing up a few, I'd say a few upsets. Obviously, we saw Taylor Fritz. He crashed out. I just think this is fatigue. He obviously got to the final in Tokyo, and now I just didn't think he was moving well at all on the court. I thought Mpechi Pericard played well, but it was just, he didn't look like he had the legs, no legs at all to get around the court. From Taylor Fritz. And like it says here, he was looking completely exhausted at the end of the match, got broken twice on serve and didn't generate a single break point. Yeah, and he just looked like he was almost laughing by the end. He just had nothing left in the tank. A terrible draw to get Mpechi Pericard early on, because just a big server, big hitter. Just the way it goes sometimes. Taylor Fritz, I'm sure he'll be back stronger. He's one of the best players in the world, but just needs a little bit of rest by the looks of it. The tournament is opening up a little bit, though. Obviously now Djokovic, he's facing Munar. Who else have we got? Just one sec. I'll bring up the draw and then we can all have a look. Let me just pop it in here. Here we go. So, fantastic results from Lerner Tien. He's doing it again, and he's having to do it the hard way. He's probably quite tired after getting all the way to the final in Beijing against Jannik Sinner. He's managed to overturn deficits, I believe, in both of these first matches. He was down a set to Kecmanovic, came back and won in 3. Was down a set, I believe, and 3-love against Moutet in this. And he was down a set and 3-love in this second match against Moutet, and somehow comes back and wins that one in 3 as well. Cam Norrie is the next opponent. Is he going to do the same again? I know that I should be sporting the Brit, but I'm a Lerner Tien fan, and I'm hoping he goes through again, because I want to see Medvedev versus Tien part 3. Can he get 3-0? Don't forget, if you get 3-0 against any player on tour, then they have to call you daddy. And I'm sure Medvedev is not looking forward to be calling a young player on tour, a teenager, a learner, some might say, calling a learner daddy. Yeah, but let's hope that that's not the case. But there's part of me that does want it to happen, not to be too dismissive. I would like to see Medvedev back to full form again, but I feel that it's time for the new breed to step up. If he beats Norrie, beats Medvedev, then he could find himself in a quarterfinal matchup. It'd probably be Alex de Minaur. He's got really a nice section here. Shang's been playing well. Coming down to this bottom part, Rinderknecht, he's up against Zverev. Not that easy, that one. We got Lehechka and Shapo in this section here. Felix. See, they always do well. When Shapo does well, Felix does well. Always happens this way. We got Darderi and Musetti. De Jong had a good match against Mensik. Mensik also another one with some injury problems in that one. Could barely move around the court towards the end. This one, Zizou Berg's having a good one. Casper Ruud, another retirement. these matches. And Zizou Berg's against Francisco Cerundolo. I thought this was quite funny. He went off after the first set for a toilet break, and then came back onto the court like this. He came back onto the court with no top on. He just said, I've come from a swimming pool. So I'm guessing this is what it looks like, to be honest. It's so hot there. Just probably already dripping with sweat, or coming back to the court, or just showered. I don't know what's going on, but probably within seconds he would have probably needed to go off and change again. How hot it's been. It's been ridiculous. Zizou Bergs will now face Diallo in the next round. We got naked face the winner of Djokovic Munar. Obviously, we go all the way down. We got Holger Rune having a good tournament. He's got through Umberg, got through Bias, And we got Griekspoor, Vachereau doing well somehow. No, another retirement, Mahatch. But yeah, I mean, Vachereau knocked out a few good players like Zverev, Bublik, Mahatch. Can he knock out Griekspoor next? Who knows? A bit of a strange run of form there suddenly. We only normally see him in Monaco playing, but yeah, he's doing all right this week. And just to finish off, it's not even related to Shanghai, but I thought it was quite funny. It was Andy Murray on the golf course. I'm not sure what was going on here with Andy Murray, but I do have my deepest sympathies with him. I'm sure Alcaraz will give him a bit of stick about this. He was trying to get out of a bunker, and Andy Murray, an expert at tennis, this is where the ball went. Oh dear. It went from there to there, and this was his reaction, and you can see it there. He slumps. And I'm sure his partner, Pepperell, is probably not too happy with this shot. I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks like it's a part of the toolbar, doesn't it? Just going along there. Shocking, Andy. But I'm not really sure what to make of that. I think everyone's been there on the golf course at some point in their life, and that's happened to them as well. It's just sad for him that there's all these cameras on him. But that's it. That's just a quick wrap up of what's been going on in the early stages of Shanghai. Tell me your thoughts about it all in that comment section below. And if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.